Hello family and friends, this is a greeting from a tree in Africa. We're just chilling out here a little bit and we wanted to make a video so you guys can see how we're doing and that we're having good times in Africa. And Dani's in the tree too.
Hi! Just wanted to say hi to everyone and let you guys know that I'm doing fine. I haven't gotten sick yet, but give it a few more weeks, I'll probably get something.
So right now, it's the end of the rainy season, and it's been raining like a ton. Not the last couple days, but before that it was. And this hut that I was staying in for a couple weeks, basically you could see stars through the roof, so you can imagine how that was. The rain would just land on my face in the night, but it was okay. It's kind of like a waterbed. So we've been putting up a couple of one-day churches. We've done 2 so far, and it usually takes us like a day and a half because we do cement foundations, and then we also only have like 4 people working on it that actually know what they're doing. The villagers come and help us, but you pretty much have to watch them every second or they'll put a screw through their hand or something. But it's been a really good experience. The second church that we put up was in this little town called Congo, and we had to take a motorcycle taxi there, and so Dani and I both rode on this motorcycle with this guy for like probably like 2 hours, and it's really uncomfortable for that long. And Dani had this giant backpack, and she was a trooper though, but we stayed with it. We had to get out and walk, like especially on the way back from the church, we had to walk like 3 miles just because there was so much water on the road. It was like up to our waist. At one point I just took my shirt off and I just swam on the road. And so that was actually kind of cool, but it was a really tiring day. We were glad to get to sleep at night. But anyways, when we got to this little village to build the church that night, we didn't really know where we were going to sleep or anything, so we just kind of stayed up and talked with people. And I think it was the chief of the village was telling us about his father, who had used to been the chief there. And he's like, yeah, my dad, he didn't really like Christians. He would either cut off their heads, make them slaves for life. So I'm sitting there thinking like, I hope this guy is different than his dad, because that doesn't really sound that great. And like, I'd like to come back to America with all that, you know, still intact. But anyways, that was kind of an interesting story. But they treated us really well all weekend. So a couple of weeks ago, the missionaries that are here, which are the Roberts family and the Dietrich family, they're the ones who've kind of been just showing us around, and they're like our bosses basically. They help us know what to do. They just told me all of a sudden, oh hey, we're gonna leave for 2 weeks and go like practice flying somewhere, and so you're gonna be in charge of all this construction that's going on and all of the crazy things that go on, all the people that come to get money and get beg for food and stuff. You're gonna have to deal with them, and we're just leaving for 2 weeks. And at this point I had only been here probably not even a month, and they just hand me this key ring and say get to work. And so yeah, now I actually know what all these go to, but it's been a chore, and it's been a lot of patience building, especially dealing with all the people that just come to me and ask again and again and again for money. There's a guy right here. You want to show him? That's Victorian. Yeah. I was really getting along with him great until he started asking me every day for money. Like every day. And I thought I was a pretty patient person until I started having to deal with that. Because he has already been paid quite a bit from Jonathan before he left, and then I gave him 10,000 francs, which is like almost a month's pay for him, and he's still just asking for money. And he gave me a giant bag of food, and then he said, my family's starving. And I'm like, here's this giant bag of food and you're starving? So people will do that all the time. People make up stories. And so it builds a lot of patience trying to deal with them, and it's really hard making decisions of when to give to people and when to help people and when to not, but all you can do is use your best judgment and trust in God. But anyways, so I've just been overseeing the masons here and helping them with laying bricks. They're building a nutrition center, which is going to help malnourished children, because the mothers, they don't always know how to take very good care of the babies. They'll starve them because they think that some of the milk is bad for them, and then their babies get sick and they wonder why, or their babies die and they wonder why. Well, we're here to try to educate them in that. And right now I don't have a house. I've just been staying wherever. Right now I'm staying in this hut, which is super nice. Like, it's got like a sink and a toilet and stuff. You still have to pump water from the well to flush the toilet, but it's really nice for the time being. But I'm looking forward to having my own house. So yeah, that's that.
So when the families left, they left Matthew here, and then they told me to go to the hospital, which is 2 miles away. So I've been walking to the hospital almost every day, working there. I've only worked one day in the hospital, and it was super cool because I was doing rounds with the doctors, and we ended up walking in a room where a lady was giving birth, and so the doctor told me to put on gloves, and I was super excited. So I put on some gloves, and the baby came out fine, and I got to suction out the baby's mouth and nose and stuff and clean off the baby, but things here are just so different. I was cleaning off the baby with a towel that in the States we use to wash windows, those blue towels. Like, that's what I was wiping the baby off with, and it's just not super sanitary. I put this ointment stuff on the baby's eyes so they don't get infected, but it's the same little tube of ointment that they use for all the babies, and they all just stick their dirty glove on there and put it on the baby, so it's just really not sanitary. And I walked past this one lady who was basically rotting in her bed, and she stank so bad, but it's just, that's normal here, that's everyday stuff. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning here. Whenever you walk into a group of people, you don't just say like, hey, what's up? You have to say like, hey, what's up, and then shake everyone's hand. So if there's 20 people, you shake 20 people's hands. And most of them don't wash their hands, so it's like a lot of germs spreading and infection and whatever. I've learned that whatever food they put in front of you, at least you have to try, even if it's real nasty. I've learned that life here is way slower than in the U.S. Like, if you say you're going to be here at 10, be here at 2, you know, it's just like everything takes a lot longer, laundry, pumping water.
So I think that my favorite part about just coming to another country has definitely been how it's affected my devotional life. Before in the States, I think I was always just so preoccupied with pleasing myself and entertaining myself, and I didn't even realize how much I was living for myself. And I think God really led me here to teach me a lesson in that, because here there's not really much you can do for entertainment. I didn't bring a computer for that purpose. I didn't want to get distracted with movies or anything like that. And so I've really been getting into my Bible and getting into the spirit of prophecy and conflict of the ages. And God's really just revealing a lot of things to me that I didn't know before. And it's really cool. Like, I'll be reading in Leviticus or something, which in the States I would have never been excited about, like Leviticus or Deuteronomy. I would have been just like, oh my goodness. But especially here, when you come to a place where the Levitical laws would be like revolutionary for them to practice those, and just reading those, like, I actually like get something out of it. I get like a big blessing, and I look forward every night and every morning to just getting into my Bible and reading whatever I have set before me. And so my relationship with God is really growing, and that's really exciting for me because I know it's going to be great for me for the rest of my life.
So there are 4 American missionary families here, 2 out in Bendele and then 2 in Bendele by the hospital. It's really cool to see how they interact with the people, how they treat the people, because sometimes it's hard in the States if someone comes up to you and like, oh, I really need help, this is going on in my life, I don't have food, I can't provide for my family, and if we have a way to help them, we're always like, oh, let me help you, but here, if we did that, everyone needs help here, everyone needs money, everyone needs food, everyone's starving, so it's not like you can help everyone in that way. So sometimes it's hard to know like when to help, when not to help, what to do. But having the missionary families here, just seeing how they treat people, how they love people even when they can't provide for their immediate need, showing how they can provide for their needs later on through prayer, or through time spent or just loving the people. I know there was this girl they were telling me about. Her aunt had basically taken her and adopted her or whatever, and then used her as a sex slave. She got super, super sick and got infections everywhere, and she was in the hospital basically dying, and her dad wasn't a Christian, and the dad was able to see Christ through the way that the doctors and then the missionary families, how they treated her, and because of her experience, led her father to Christ, and she had this entire time had kept her faith in Christ and had kept her love for Christ. And just some of the stories here that I hear about, these aren't just like random stories that happen once in a while. These are things that happen every day here, and things that to me I think would mess me up. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to have a faith in God after something like that would happen, but the people here, when they have a faith in God, it's strong, and it's really amazing to see how we can share Christ so much every day, not just here in Africa, but over there in the U.S. or in your family. God provides for us, and He gives us things, and He wants us to give to others as well. We might not be able to give money or food, but we can give time and love and prayer.
Well, Dani and I just want to send a big thank you to everyone who's been praying for us and everyone that supported us so that we were able to come here. It means so much, and we're really trying to do the best that we can over here with God's help. But just please keep praying for us, because it's a really hard life over here. The food doesn't taste good. That's the biggest thing that I always think about. But we're really growing spiritually, and I think that we're going to have an impact over here. And so thank you so much for all the prayers and the support.
Thank you guys again for everything. Matthew's parents, the packages are awesome. Totally enjoying them. Thank you guys for your prayers and for just the support from over in the U.S. Wait, what is it?
Au revoir.
Au revoir. We don't really say that here. Après.
Bye-bye.